Hi, my name is Antonio Wells. I'm the CEO of Name Me Not Inc. In this course, we're going to learn how to produce an SEO strategy for virtually any business. 15 years ago, I started a company called AndroidTap.com. I grew it on a shoestring budget, had a staff, and was able to sell it to a company called BlueStacks in late 2015. All of those skill sets, plus everything that I've learned in my marketing company, is what's going to be high level in this course. Everything in this video is all free tools. Now, there is one paid tool that I will show you more in depth if you decide to purchase that. However, everything in the video is all free tools and you don't have to make a purchase in order to complete this strategy. Now, to break down the strategy, we're going to look at three major things. The first is a technical audit. The second is a content plan. And the third is a backlink building strategy. One of the first tools that we'll start with, it's called Screaming Frog. The link is in the description below. This tool crawls the websites and shows you technical vulnerabilities in your website. These are the things that you want to fix to make sure your website is technically sound when Google comes to crawl your website. Let's get started. Once you have it downloaded, type in the URL that you want to do an examination of. Now, the free tool will give you the first 500 URLs. One of the first things I look at is the page titles. I look for what's missing, duplicate titles, and those over 60 characters. Let's start with the latter. So in the tool, you can click on a page title and at the bottom, click on SERP Snippet. It'll show you a brief preview of how it will look in Google. Now notice how the title, in this case, it fits, but the brand cuts off. In that case, I'm okay with it. So what you want to do is make sure all of your titles, the most important words, fit in 60 characters. Next, and one of the most important, is meta descriptions. The same thing. I want to go and take a look at those meta descriptions that's missing. Those are the most important. Then we want to look at duplicates and change those to something unique. So taking a little deeper look at those that are missing, this is my wish list page and the testing page. We see there's no meta description. So things like this, when we're building out our technical audit, we want to go and export those so we can go back to in a spreadsheet and put those together later. It's important to look at those over 155 characters to make them shorter and more impactful. The next thing I look at is the H1. It should be one tag on each page. And again, I look at missing, duplicate, and those over 70 characters. The next thing I look at is images. This is a factor with SEO because you want a quick loading website. Now, immediately we see one of our images is almost 4 megabytes. We go down to the image details and we can take a look and see what page this image lives on or pages and get an idea of what the image is and go and shrink that image. Also, the important thing is to look at missing alt text. You can filter this, go and see what pages that are missing alt text, export the file, and go back later on and identify those areas to go and make corrections. So I hope you noticed all of the techniques that we saw there. We found issues, we exported them to a spreadsheet so we can have something to go back in and fix on our website later on. Now that we've gotten those technical issues out the way, it's time to do one of the most important parts, and that's content. So everything that I'll talk about are tools on how you can get content ideas and get a content strategy together for when you start to focus on content on your website.